Donald Trump appeared yesterday on the Chris Stigall podcast. I have no idea what that is, but these are the sorts of interviews that the failed former president is now relegated to doing. Trump's brain broke. It acutely broke. It almost made a noise, like a clanking noise when it broke. That's a joke. Trump repeating the now widely debunked conspiracy theories about the attacker of Paul Pelosi. Trump saying that he once made rough statements on Jewish. What does that mean? I have no idea what the hell this guy is talking about. Look at the breakdown of this man's brain. Starting with the first clip, Trump asked about the assault on Paul Pelosi. Listen to what Trump said.
How do you read what's happened in the Pelosi household in San Francisco over the weekend?
By the way, why do all of these right-wingers have the Alex Jones voice?
That man's a loser.
Why do they all talk like Alex Jones? Topic for a different day.
Wow. It's weird things going on in that household in the last couple of weeks. Probably you and I are better not talking about it, but it seems was broken from the inside to the out.
Why?
And, it wasn't a break-in, it was a breakout. I don't know. You hear the same things I do.
Yeah, the 9/11 tape seems to suggest that that he knew the identity of the guy.
Wrong.
Yeah. That's a lot of bad stuff. I'm not a fan of Nancy Pelosi, but what's going on there is very sad.
Yeah, it seems to me there would be security evidence of this. There just seems to be more to this story. Would it be safe to say?
This is, I think, more than the traffic accident, it looks like to me.
But dependent on Republicans or you, sir, I mean, how absurd. Clearly, this was a deranged man. We know that much.
Yeah. The whole thing is crazy. I mean, if there's even a little bit of truth to what's being said, it's crazy. But the window was broken in, and it was strange that the cops were standing there practically. From the moment it all took place.
So listen. Trump repeated these claims yesterday, November 1st, after we already had information about all of these claims. The attacker himself confirmed all of what we now know to be true. The cops didn't just stand there. They very quickly found the guy. The glass was not broken from the inside out. Yes, there were pieces of glass on the outside. Imagine taking a hammer to a glass window. Every time you pull it back towards you to hammer it again, you pull a little bit of glass out. It's not a big shock that there was glass on the outside. Pelosi didn't say, I know the guy. It appears as though in order to keep the guy calmer while on the phone with 911, he said something like, my friend here, but he did not literally mean, I know the guy is known to me. The attacker already said he had no previous contact with Pelosi. Pelosi was in his underwear because he sleeps in his underwear, and it was 2 a.m. There were security cameras that recorded it. Every single one of these lies already debunked. But this is nothing. Then, during the Chris Stigall interview, they get to the topic of Kanye West. And Trump says he made rough statements on Jewish. I know you're saying, David, are you missing a word there? What do you mean? Listen.
Do you think Kanye West is getting a fair shake? I always thought after he aligned with you, even for a while, he was a marked man. No matter what he said or done since, he's been on the Tucker Carlson show, as you know. How do you read Kanye West these days?
Well, I was very honored because I didn't know him that well, but I liked him. I always got along with him very well. And I was very honored in a sense because he said all those great things about me on Tucker Carlson.
By the way, that's what matters. If he said good things about Trump, Trump's going to defend him.
Made some statements, rough statements on Jewish.
Rough statements on Jewish. I once made rough statements on an apple. I was sitting on the apple. It was weird.
You heard them and you know them well.
Yes.
And they're saying that was the reason. So then you ask, well, would it have been the same thing if he didn't say all those good things about Trump? You just don't know. Yeah. He'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. He's a very different kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was very interesting to hear him on Tucker Carlson because you never hear him in long sentences, right?
Yeah, they also cut out a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff from the Tucker interview, too.
He was actually very sharp and very very smart. I was impressed by a lot of what he said.
Well, he talked about life. He talked about health. These are things that he feels the black community is being lied to about those things.
He does. He feels it. And
man, it's all about what have you done for me lately? Kanye has praised Trump, so Trump's going to say, listen, he made rough statements on Jewish, whatever that means, but he's pretty brilliant. I liked a lot of the things he said. Trump confirms he won't go back to Twitter in the context of his own platform.
Truth, essential.
Yeah.
If I go on there, what would happen to Truth? I don't know. I don't know. But the answer is I'm not doing it.
Right.
I won't go back on. But I find Truth to be much better. It's smarter, it's friendlier, and also can be very nasty. You know?
Oh, yes.
Especially if they get against you a little bit. Even your own people, if they disagree with something you did, they get nasty.
Trump's talking about vaccines there.
We got some smart ones, but it's tremendous. And it was number one for the last couple of weeks. It's incredible how well.
Yeah. So Donald Trump, his own platform, which he often gets the name wrong of.
Truth, essential.
He says he's sticking with Truth and not going back on Twitter. And lastly, Trump playing with the supply chain games. Remember when Trump used to love to say, the cupboards were bare and all this different stuff. Now he's saying there's no turkeys.
This shouldn't be in this country, and I can't help but feel like it's purposeful, sir.
Sir?
Is that your read?
Well, it's certainly a terrible thing, and it certainly shouldn't be. And supply chain shouldn't be in this country either. I mean, pure, just basic supply chain. Now I understand you can't get turkey.
You can't get turkey now. Trump understands. Folks, listen, this interview was on November 1st. Who is buying a turkey on November 1st for a November 24th Thanksgiving? Now, sure, if you've got a huge freezer or something, I know some people will buy the turkey on November 1st. Every place I'm seeing is scheduling the turkey pickups for like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week. That's number one. And then number two, I've just been to 2 different grocery stores this week. They're filled with turkeys. There's turkeys bursting out of everywhere. I tried to get avocados. There were turkeys there. I tried to get, whatever. Anyway, there's turkeys everywhere at this point in time. Trump relegated to completely frothing at the mouth friendly interviews on podcasts no one's ever heard of, Chris Stigall, and he still doesn't make any sense. Let's keep fighting this right-wing nuttery by growing progressive independent media as far as we can. If you are watching these clips on YouTube and you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I know many of you say, David, sir, I see all your clips. I don't need to subscribe. Do me the favor, because there's almost 3 million of you who watch the clips but don't subscribe. If we were to get to 2 million YouTube subscribers, it would be an accomplishment held only by the young Turks in the progressive media space. Help us get there. Hit that subscribe button. I'll give you an update on our progress next week. I want to tell you about something I use every day because it simplifies my life. I don't have hours to mathematically plan every meal or take multiple different supplements and vitamins to make sure I'm getting exactly what I want to get every single day. And the solution is our sponsor, Athletic Greens product AG1. I've been taking AG1 for over a year. It's just great. It's just 1 small scoop of AG1 in the morning. I get 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotic, all from whole food sources. It's what I want. It's no more. It's no less. It's no extraneous stuff making wild claims. I drink it straight with water because I like the taste. You can put it in a smoothie or juice or a shake. It's just simple. AG1 is a sustainable routine because it's just 1 scoop in the morning, takes 1 minute once a day. I know I'm covered in getting what I want. I can really be sure that I am properly nourishing my body with the things I'm trying to get. That's the most important part. Athletic Greens knows I'm a vitamin D guy. I've talked about in the winter, I take vitamin D to make up for the lack of sun exposure. I take that every day as well. I've mentioned it on the show. And so Athletic Greens is giving you a free year of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase when you go to athleticgreens.com/Pacman. The link is down below.